Welcome back everyone to my channel. Today I will be trying tie-dye for the very first time. Now all the clothing items that I am using today have been washed and dried, and then right before I started this process again, I washed it without soap or detergent. Now with this first item, I wanted to do a symmetrical design, so for a symmetrical design you need to fold the clothing item in half, and then with a washable marker you want to draw out your design. This item is a onesie for my nephew, and it's actually going to be a matching set for my sister where they both were going to have hearts. So once you have your line, you want to gather the fabric on the line to then tie it off with the rubber bands. Now it is important to have all of your designs ready and all of your clothing items binded before you activate the dye, because the dye does have a very short lifespan. Next, I folded a long sleeve t-shirt in half to draw out a cross, but this design did come out a little bit wider than intended, and so the final product turned out to not resemble a cross at all. Once I had the cross binded, I decided that I wanted to have rows of color around it, and so to do this you want to mark off sections to mark the ending and starting of the next colors. With long sleeve t-shirts like this, you want to make sure to bind the sleeves with the shirt so that your design will flow and match correctly. Now I'm going to be binding off one of my canvas bags. For this first canvas bag, I went with a very simple, just striped design. I would not recommend using this type of material because it does hold the dye well, but when washing it out, it does rub against your hands a lot and it's very painful. When tie-dyeing, 100% cotton is best to hold the paint for long-term use. Next is the traditional bullseye technique. To do this, you just pinch any part of the fabric and then bind off in the sections for each row of the bullseye that you want. Here I have a t-shirt that I'm painting for my mom. So for her shirt, I did something a little bit different. I just binded it off into 4 sections for the 4 colors that she had chosen that she liked the best. Here I have a child's t-shirt for one of my other nephews, which is also going to be a traditional bullseye. Next I have 2 pairs of socks. The first pair of socks are just going to be striped rainbow, while the next ones are going to be more of a galaxy design. To do this design, you just want to crumple up your item and then bind it off into how many sections for the different colors you want in your galaxy. For mine, I binded them off into 8. On this t-shirt, I wanted to do a rainbow, but I drew the rainbow too close to the center, so it didn't turn out looking like a rainbow. Another thing to note with the color outside of the rainbow, it will blend with the start of the rainbow. So for example, my start of the rainbow was red and the outer color was blue. So where the 2 colors meet, they ended up turning into a purple color. So you do want to space your colors out. For the rest of the t-shirt, I just crumpled it up and binded it off in different sections to create a difference with the background colors. This is my sister's matching set with her son's onesie, in which I also drew a heart design on it. Once the t-shirt was binded, I also binded off sections of it to have a rainbow background around the heart. For this second canvas bag, I just crumpled it all up together to try to make a galaxy effect on it. Now, binding this into 8 sections was very complicated, but it is possible. It just takes a lot of work to bind it. Now finally, I have this t-shirt for my dad, which is going to be a spiral technique. To do the spiral technique, you just want to pinch a section and swirl all the fabric together, and then divide it into 8 sections. Now that all of the binding is complete, we can go ahead and move on to the dyeing process. When tie-dyeing, it's recommended to use gloves on both hands so you don't transfer any dye from your fingers onto the fabric, but for me it was very difficult to tie-dye with gloves on both hands, so I only used it on one. While tie-dyeing, you want to make sure to get good coverage so that when you wash it, it won't fade away. And when opening the bottles, be careful to not accidentally spill some onto your fabric like I did many times. Once the top side is completely painted, you want to lift it up and clean your surface, and then flip it over and continue dyeing onto the back side. Once both sides are evenly covered, you want to wrap your clothing either in shrink wrap or in plastic. For me, it was easier to put it into plastic bags. And you will need to leave it for 24 hours to ensure that the dye stains completely. After the 24 hours, you need to hand wash each item, and if you're going to wash it all in the machine together, then you want to hand wash it multiple times to ensure that none of the paint transfers. For this first pair of socks, I wanted to go with a very simple rainbow design. And when using tie-dye, once half of the dye is used up, you can add more water to create a more pastel version of the colors. And so keeping this in mind, I chose the designs that I wanted darker colors first to use up half of the dye, and then I went in and added water to the bottles to create pastel colors. For the first canvas bag, I went with a dark galaxy design. Here is the long-sleeved cross t-shirt that I did. The brown in the center is the cross, and then going across from behind it is the rainbow. Next is a t-shirt that I did for my brother with the bullseye technique. For the center of the bullseye, I did a basic rainbow, but at the end of it, I did all black because I know that is my brother's favorite color. I have to give a big thank you to my mom for helping me during this video. She helped bag all of the clothing items, and she would go back and forth filling up the bottles as I needed. And speaking about my mom, this is the t-shirt that I painted for her. The 4 colors that she chose were red, pink, purple, and indigo. And so following the 4 colors that she chose, I just painted each of the 4 sections on both sides according to the colors that she had chosen. Next is the matching t-shirt that I made for my sister. Starting off with the center is the heart, and then starting from the pink of the heart, I continued on to do a pastel rainbow design, following all around it. Next is the rainbow t-shirts. First I started off with painting the rainbow in, and then I did the background with a mixture of blues and greens. Then I have a bullseye t-shirt for my nephew. Next is a child's t-shirt, which I did with a bullseye starting with orange, then going to yellow, green, a dark blue, and then ending off in a brown. Next is another onesie for my nephew, in which I started with brown and then went up the rainbow. Here is the matching onesie with the hearts. Now, this onesie, more so than the heart t-shirt, didn't come out as well. You can't even tell that there was a heart on the onesie. For the t-shirt, it is a lot more defined. Next, we have a second pair of socks in which I just did a very pastel rainbow design. This is another child onesie for my nephew. For this onesie, I went with an autumn design with going with browns and orange. And for this next onesie, I went with a summer design. For this onesie, I started with a few stripes of color, and then I ended with a few blocks of complete color on their own. And now to see the end results. First, we have these socks with a very dark rainbow design. Then we have the second pair of socks, which were just pastel striped. And then we have this bag that was a dark galaxy. I was very pleased to find out that the straps were dyed as well. The second canvas bag was another pastel rainbow stripes. Here is the reverse rainbow bullseye summer themed onesie, rainbow onesie, random stripe onesie, autumn themed onesie, failed heart onesie, child bullseye t-shirt, my sister's heart t-shirt, my brother's bullseye t-shirt, my dad's spiral technique shirt, my mom's full-colored stripe shirt, my failed rainbow t-shirt, and my failed cross long-sleeved t-shirt. And that is my first time trying tie-dye. Overall, I am happy with the results. I think for it being my first time trying this, I managed okay. It is definitely something that I will be trying again. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.